It's a foggy day in Florida with this 2001 Dodge Dakota with a 4.7 liter Magnum. And we are replacing the AC compressor in the whole assembly. The story behind this whole entire thing is this compressor is 26 years old and it finally gave out 3 months ago. I tried filling up with Freon because the guys, that last owner I bought it from, stated that it would just need Freon. Come to find out, it had a lot of air in the system. I got all the air out. There was hardly any Freon that came out of it, just air. And I put Freon back and I set the gauge to it. I thought my gauges were messed up, but there's no way because they work perfectly fine. Come to find out, the compressor itself is bad. This thing kept engaging and disengaging every 5 to 10 seconds. The AC would have got cold for a few seconds, and it went back to hot, and it never worked again. It still engages and disengages, but I know there's something going on in here with the clutch or the bearings, because every time I set the gauge up to it, it kept jumping from high to low, going to the red, then it would say just low, even though I put let's say 31 to 32 ounces, and their recommended is 32. I put 28 in there to see, and it says it was still low. But when the gauge kept going up, when the clutch kept engaging and disengaging, it kept going up and down in the low part. So I knew it was this. There was no leaks in the system whatsoever, and the lines or anything. So come to find out, after I did all that, the compressor is starting to have a burning smell. You can smell it when I'm driving. You can smell Freon coming out through here, but there's nothing leaking. It's just time to replace the compressor. I did spin the pulley here to see it's not completely free and it's not seized up. I think it's just something to do with the clutch or the bearings, but I don't hear any bearings clacking or clinging, none of that. It just engages and disengages. So we've already replaced the AC condenser, as you can tell, when we replaced the whole cooling system at the same time. So I went on eBay and got the compressor. I got the lines and everything. I think I got the whole orifice tube liquid line for like 20 bucks. And all it does is it just runs through here all the way back here to these two tubes on your evaporator on this vehicle. And this is the ground wire that actually connects to the top of the diode for the cooling system, and this is the plug for the AC pressure switch. I thought the AC pressure switch was bad, but it's not. But since I'm replacing the whole system, I went ahead and just bought the new switch and everything. And I'm going to keep the old one just in case, because since we don't really know if it's bad or not. So it's a very simple task. All you gotta do is take the air filter and everything out that's right here. You don't have to take any of this off, because as you can see, the bolts are actually right here. You got one. Actually, I may have to take it off. I'm not really for sure. Got one bolt there. And there's two, I think. Yeah, two right there. There's three. And there's actually, yeah, it looks like the I didn't realize this until now. It looks like the compressor is mounted to the alternator. Looks like it to me. I could, yeah, it's got like, look, this might be a bracket. It looks like a bracket. I never seen nothing like that. I could be wrong, but I see the bolt there, so I don't think any of this has to come off here. I mean, it might end up freeing this up. I don't know. I'll figure that out here in a little bit. The compressor will be here in a couple days. I'm not going anywhere right now, so I'm not really worried about if the truck sits for until Friday. I just wanted to go ahead and get it apart while I could. And you could see where the antifreeze was leaking here when I pulled the line off, but it didn't leak anywhere else when I took the line off on the front. But I did notice when I took the line off, no Freon came out of it at all. And when I took the bolt out, which was a 10 millimeter, which goes right here, it was so damn tight it didn't want to come off, and I had to use my half-inch drive to get it off, and I didn't break it. And it is what it is. Now, just so y'all know, here's a wild tip on these Dodges. You have to have a special clip tool to be able to take these off here. the only part that's actually spring-loaded, and I'll show you which tool that I used. First, we're going to go to the shed, and we're going to show you the actual package with the part number. So y'all know exactly what I used. Okay, I went to O'Reilly's, and I bought this package, this product here. It's called AC and Field Line Disconnect Set. As you can see, these are the sizes it comes with. Basically, it comes with 6mm. I think that's 8, 9, 13, 16, 19mm, and 22. So they had the other ones as well, which was the little circle ones that were spring-loaded. Those were actually called, I forgot what they're called. A spring shock set or something like that. I don't remember right off the bat. But this is the one that I use, and it works for filters as well. As you can see on the back, and remember this, if you do get this, don't buy it if it ain't going to work. It says right here the sizes that it comes with, tells you which vehicles it works with. It says, for automated fuel, AC and transmission cooler lines on most GM, Ford, and Chrysler and Mazda models. So do not buy this if it's not going to work. These are the same prices they are on eBay. They basically come in a 4-pack. So it works for standard and metric. Here's the part number right there, W83101. Write that down, or whatever you got to do, screenshot it. But I had to get a second opinion from the supervisor at O'Reilly's that I know, because he's been there forever and he knows a lot about this stuff. And he said it was best to get this one because that one you can actually reuse. The other ones you can't because they break easily. And this is the other tool that I bought, which is the disconnect tool for fuel and AC lines. And there's the part number right there as well. This is basically a 5/8 inch and a 3/8. Well, actually, sorry, it's a 3/4 and a 5/8 inch and a 1/2 inch and a 3/8 inch. I was told that these tools are very good. This tool is very good to have, and you'll never know when you'll need it. A lot of people say that they keep these in their vehicles because you never know. This works for 1981 current Ford and Chrysler LH series, 2001 current GM 3/4 and 1-ton trucks with the Duramax diesel engines. And there's the instructions on the back, part number, UPC. And this is what the tool looks like. This thing did not work for my vehicle, but I went ahead and bought it just in case if I need it for anything, because it was only like $5 for the tool. I never used one of these before because I never had the vehicle that had spring-loaded lines. But that's basically what that is. I'll show you these when I go back out there. Okay, here's the AC lines for the Dodge Dakota. And I'm not going to take this off at the moment, but you can tell this is spring-loaded. You can see the spring, because I got the cap over it for protection until I put it on later. This one does come with the orifice tube in the liquid line already included, so there's no need for me to take the orifice tube out of the old line. And it does come with the brand new caps. I don't know if this one actually comes with the seals or not. It's possible. It's got a cap over it. I paid only $20 for that line. And they're still on eBay. Oh yeah, and if you want the part number to get this line off of eBay for $20, which is better than spending almost $100, got it off eBay. This is the brand, UPC, and I think that's the part number. Could be wrong. If you want to, you can write that down. Screenshot if you have to. But I thought it was a really good deal, because normally these lines online are like $50 to $60, but the auto parts store I think wants a little more. Yeah, and there's the other UPC code right there. There's a different number on here too, so just in case. Okay, let me see if I can get that a little better. Yep. Here's the other line that actually runs to the compressor, that runs to the dyer. As you can see, it does come with the brand new seals. And it's from the same company. And it comes with, yeah, the whole deal. See, it's got the on both ends. Always be sure everything matches before you put it on. It comes with the brand new cap there. I'm hoping I didn't buy two of the same lines, but I doubt it. So there's the part number for that, same brand. So you can look it up on eBay if you have to. Oh, hold on. I may not be... Okay. It's got two of these here. I didn't buy the same line. It's just that this one runs to the firewall, to the evaporator. It runs to the front of the condenser. And this one runs to the dyer, to the directly to the compressor. But please be sure you keep your original 10mm bolt that connects to the compressor. Because if you lose it, you won't be able to put that on unless you go to Dodge or the junkyard, unless you have a spare 10mm that will fit. And we're going to show you what this looks like. So give me 1 minute, and we'll show y'all. Okay. I don't know if that's going to stay or not. Alright, this is the dyer right here. This thing was only 36 bucks. I'm going to replace it anyway, and it is the correct one. This is where your lines would actually attach to, and this is where your I think it was a 13mm nut that you took off your original, and you got to put them back on these unless you're going to put new nuts on them. And it comes with a brand new cap as well. You just got to take these two tabs off and slap it on there, but always be sure you put the original bracket back on, because the holes on mine were pretty freaking rusted, but when I emptied it out, I didn't see any Freon in that thing whatsoever. No green, no drip. So I don't know if the Freon was even getting into this thing like it's supposed to, but we'll check it out and see. All right. Alright, here's the lines that you will, sorry, not the lines. Here's the clips that you will get in the set. And this kit works famously. The size, yeah, these are the sizes, but these size, this size here, if I remember correctly, none of these sizes right here worked. The sizes that I had to use for both lines on mine, I had to use the 16mm. That was for the orifice tube liquid line. And this here is the 22mm, which I had to use, which I forgot what that line there is called. It's a little short line. I don't remember the name of that line. But I'll show you what the line looks like. But these are the only two ones I had to use, because this part here actually wraps around it. When it goes on like this, then you have to push in. You'll hear a snap, and you have to pull that at the same time while you're pushing that in. And I'll show you all an example on what I mean. When you get down here with one of these tools, it has to wrap like that with the hose on there. Then you push on it really hard to hear a click, but you might have to move it around a little bit to figure it out. Once it clips on both ends, you keep pushing that in while you pull the line, and it'll come right out. It might be stiff. Now, if there's something wrong with the spring load, with the spring, and it won't come off, you might have to torch it off. So remember, the 16mm for the orifice tube. It worked on mine, but I cannot guarantee it's going to work on yours. And alright, here's the original lines right here. And these gaskets don't look bad, but as far as what I was looking at with the signs of this hose, I found tons of Freon just laying on the end of this, but not on the inside. So just as a possibility that these gaskets are probably bad, but sorry. They look like they might be bad. So, but I'm looking at these gaskets. This gasket on the bottom looks like it's a little lifted, but that may not mean a lot. They're sorry guys about the camera. I mean, it looks like it's just been pouring right there. This was like this one right when I was pulling it out. So now it might just be drilling out. But the gaskets, this gasket here on the bottom looks like it's a little worn, like it's not holding itself in place. It's a little stretched. While the top one looks like it's a little more tight. But the line is not busted anywhere. My main concern is this thing here. I don't know if there's a rubber line here or if it's just this material. But I didn't trust this line anyway because this is really, really soft. Like, really, really like squishy. And I don't know if this orifice tube is clogged. We're going to take this off. This is, I don't know which line that, what sensor that is. But I know I got the new AC pressure switch for that thing. So, I don't know what that sensor is. I got to figure that one out. And these are the caps. I would keep your caps, though, so you know you have spares, which I will do. And let's look at this side of the orifice tube. Whoa. I mean, where's the... By looking at this one, gaskets look like they are a little worn. You can see this one's pushed up there on one end. I could be wrong. But yeah, they could be brittle. Let's feel them and see. They're pretty on there. I just think it's kind of weird how all the freon just lays there. But a little bit came out of inside of this line on that end. But here is the bracket that you will have to keep for this thing. You got to use this on your new one, so make sure that does go on. This goes back on. And you can tell this thing is old. I don't know, you can see in there, there was freon in there, but when I look deeper in there, I don't really see much of anything in there. But I didn't see any rust or anything come out of it or anything like that. I see a lot of freon on the threads. This side, I don't know if it's supposed to be closed like that. Right there. It may be. But I even tried. And nothing really, no dripping, nothing came out yesterday, so since this truck is like 26 years old, I would just replace it all. You could tell the threads were a little rusted, a little corroded, but the bolts were not seized up at all. And that's going to come off too, just in case. And here's the other line that run to the, yeah, this is the one that ran to the compressor. We're going to take a look at this one. Oh, shit. Yeah, I would say that one is actually clogged. I didn't realize that. Look at that hole. That hole looks, yeah, that hole right there is cleared. This hole here is completely clogged. So that might be why it wasn't taken freon. It had a clogged system. I mean, that could cause problems. And these gaskets here, they look like they're a little worn. You can tell they got some corrosion on them. And looking at this side, that doesn't look clogged either, but you can still see the gaskets. These gaskets look like they, I mean, could be wrong, but these gaskets may have been replaced at one time. I know this truck was in an accident before, so I don't know if this stuff has been taken off in the past and been redone with new gaskets. I know they're not supposed to be perfect, but that gasket there looks like it's pretty high up. And this side's got a lot of crud in it too, as you can see there. And you can see this gasket here is actually bad. You can tell by looking at it, it's corroded and it's falling apart. And I think this one might have had one gasket at one time, but it looks bad too. Those lines are going to be recycled out. So just be sure when you do take those lines off, do not push against this, because this is for your PCV valve. your ventilation hose and it runs to your air box and it runs to the other side, so don't break it, because those I couldn't get these. I had to get the rubber hose. I had to get sized and cut it and slap it onto the back of that manifold, and it works perfectly fine. And always be sure when you get all this back together, you wrap up your ground wire nice and neat so it's not hitting your manifold. So we will make another video on taking this compressor and everything out. It may not be 100%, but we're gonna make it the best we can to show y'all what else you can do. I don't ever remove any of this crap. People do, but I don't see no point. I'm able to get my hand down there like I did before and put the belt back on. Oh yeah, by the way, I gotta show y'all one more thing that y'all will need to buy for your AC system, and this is recommended. Okay, when you go to this, before you put anything together, be sure you buy yourself some R134A page 100 refrigerant oil. And this is an 8 full ounce. The truck takes 7 ounces. My truck does, at least. You can use any brand as long as it's page 100. It claims online that you can use page 100 or 150. It's compatible with the 4.7. But the store said that the page 100 is actually more recommended than the 150, but their system shows differently what it shows online. Walmart doesn't carry this stuff ever, so it's one of those things you'll have to spend like $13-15 on this bottle. So when you get your new compressor, you have to dump the original factory oil out and put yours in there so you know it has the recommended oil, then it's ready to go. You will never have to dump the oil out of the compressor unless your compressor goes bad or you have to remove it for some odd reason, which means if you accidentally dump it. But we will show you all that in the next video. Once the compressor comes in, you'll be ready to go. Always be sure that I use the SuperTech R134A because it's $9 a can and the truck only takes 32 full ounces. Do not put 36 in there. So if you think about it, 3 cans, they're 12 ounces a piece. It would technically be 36 ounces, so you would use 2.5 cans. But always check to be sure, because you don't want to end up making the thing grind, and you have to basically take some out. You don't want to blow any seals, because I can't really find a 32 full ounce bottle. And by the way, be sure you keep these clips, because these go on those lines on your evaporator, and that's basically it. And these are actually the bolts for the dyer, and this is the one for the compressor. That's a 10 millimeter. That's metric, not standard. And you got this piece here that goes to your air filter box, which you need to keep that. It's plastic. Hope this video helps. We will show y'all part 2 of this video this week. Hope y'all have a great one.